If you didn't know, it's me again, Rich Bees, the real Rich Bees. Back again, and yes, I have topics. I told you I have a subject, but I don't necessarily know if I need to go there, right? I don't know if I need to get to this subject because yesterday we talked about identity, right? What does it look like to um, shore up or even figure out what your identity is, right? We talked about the fact of the reflection in the mirror, and that reflection doesn't lie to you. It only shows back, it reports to you, right? What it sees. Basically, who you are now, in the moment. That's what it shows to you, right? And so I do want to move to the next part of that subject. I do, right? Because I want you guys to constantly be on the growth path. However, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that today is Friday. You made it through another week, people. We have made it through another week, right? We have. And I need people to understand that once you make it to another week, this is a new time, right? This is a new time. You can release all of the stress that you had all week, right? I wrote a song about it. It's called Party on the Dance Floor. If you go listen to the song Party on the Dance Floor, if you want to get to the music, you know what we do. Head over to richbees.com/links, right? And that way you can listen to the music on Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, whatever music platform you have. So go check out the music there. And find the song called Party on the Dance Floor, right? Party on the Dance Floor is about that. You had a long week, stressful. Now it's time to go get on the dance floor, get excited, and get that stress up off you. That's what it's all about. That's what the song is about, right? Been a long week. Been a long week. A lot of things have happened. A lot of changes have been made. And I do want to celebrate the small wins, right? That's one of the reasons why I'm on here today. Because on Fridays I advertise that I'm not streaming till 5 o'clock p.m. EST. Because of that, I came on early because of a little small win that I have. And I don't know if you caught it. I don't know if you've seen the intro. However, we can play the intro again, right? We could play the intro again so that way you can see the small win. Okay. I now have a new intro. No, I'm not gonna play it again. Y'all can go back and watch it. Okay. But I also have a new be right back screen. Right? You'll see it if I do have to get up at any point. Right? If I do have to take care of something at any point, you'll see that screen. Right? I also have a new outro graphic. Hey, I told you, we're just gonna keep doing things each time a little better, right? Because we're learning, we're growing, we're actually making progress to be better in each and every area of our life, right? And so if I'm going to come on here and I'm going to choose to stream and I'm going to choose to talk to you guys on a regular basis and, help you to become the best person that you can, then that means that I have to be showing the same. Understand that this is the reason by which I made sure that when I started this stream off, when I started streaming back in December 2025, I did not make everything happen at the beginning, right? Because at the beginning, I could have, understand, I could have started off with all of the pieces in order, all of the pieces totally together, ready to go, whole package, graphics package, whole everything right up front, right from the very first stream. I could have did that. However, that doesn't show growth. That doesn't show building. It doesn't show to you guys that each time and each day that I stream, we're putting forth intentional effort to make something better, right? Now, I started off with good enough, right? There was a camera, there was a microphone, I had a stream, meaning I had internet access, right? That was good enough to hold 1080p at 60 frames a second. Wham bam, there you go. Let's get on air, right? Let's get on the interwebs. And so that's what we did, right? We got it up and running. We're streaming every day, commitment, dedication, determination, all enacted to push this forward. You guys have started following. You guys have told somebody else, right? Because you know how I had the saying, and I still say it at the end of every stream: tell a friend to tell a friend, follow your man's rich bees, the real rich bees. Bringing this to you with ease, you know what it is. So that all of this stuff is things that I've added as we've been streaming, right? Each stream, something new has happened, some new understanding, some new change. That's what it's been. So for you to know, we will keep doing that. We will keep adding new things. We will keep getting better. We will keep honing in the craft, if you will. Okay? There may be times that it's not necessarily a new graphic, or it might not be a new lower third, or it might not be some new feature that allows you to do something else while we're streaming, but it might be a new thought process. It might be a new might have a visitor or something, right? We might have someone come join me in the studio. We might have co-hosts that is not here in the studio that we do a live with. Okay. Various different things are coming soon, right? We might do a little bit more IRL, right? I may be out of town, going live, showing y'all some other stuff that we're doing. I might be in town, shooting a film, shooting a TV show, right? The whole point is for us to keep doing something new, exciting, informational, something that's going to provide you with another viewpoint, another perspective for growth in your life. That's the whole point, right? That's the whole point of the Real Rich Bees. Because I'm here trying to give you the real me. Not some fake flawed, not flawed, because everybody's flawed. Not some fake puffed up, unflawed, right? No flaws, just, hey, I'm the greatest ever. That's not what we're doing here, right? Sometimes I miss the mark, just like sometimes you miss the mark. Nobody's perfect. And I stress to show that, right? Not necessarily show my imperfections, because that's not the point. But the point is that if there are some imperfections, know that there's grace for that, right? There's grace for that. There might be a time that I start sneezing or coughing, because I do sneeze quite a bit. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, if I start sneezing and I don't hit the be right back button, right? Or, I start coughing or something and forget to hit the mute on my mic. There's grace for that. Sometimes it happens, right? It is what it is. This is live. This is live. Now, understand, I spent a lot of my 20s and 30s doing live TV. So I know what it is. I know what it can take for it to be perfect, right? I know what it takes to be perfect. However, not everything is perfect, which I found that out pretty early, right? In doing live. So on this stream, yes, I'm doing live, but know that everything is not perfect. And because it's not perfect, you guys will see it. It is what it is. right? If you see something that's off, let me know, because maybe right now it just isn't that important to me, and that's not the thing that really, I'm focused on and I feel like needs to go up first, right? A lot of things I do have a reason for it. But sometimes there may be things that I miss, right? It might be the chance that right now I'm talking to you and y'all can't hear my audio. That happened before. I did probably what, the first 5 minutes of a stream and didn't have any audio. Wild work, Rich. Wild work. Mr. B's, get it together. But it was what it was. I came back on, right? Once I figured it out, turned on the sound and started again. Ran it all the way back, right? I have grace for myself, right? Because I know that it's not going to always be right. I'm not going to be mad at myself and beat myself up because of that. It happens. You know what I'm saying? It happens. So that is the key to continuing to progress, is to knowing yourself that it's not going to be perfect. There's no such thing. All right. There's only one that's perfect, and it ain't you and it ain't me. And there's nobody else that you actually have met in person or even know of, right? Except one. But anyway, so that's what I'm here for today, right? I have a subject that I want to talk about, which isn't even the subject that we're talking about thus far. But I do have a subject that I want to talk about. I just don't think that it's a good time to do it. I might do that one on Monday. That's what I'm kind of thinking right now. I'm kind of thinking that I'll run the next topic on Monday. Okay. Now, if you want to jump in the chat and you want to say, hey, you know what? Let's keep going. Let's go to the next topic. You know what I'm saying? I saw the identity one and I need to go ahead and do the next one. Right? Because if you watch the end of the last video when I told y'all the topic, let me know what you thought about that. Did you already know what we're going to talk about? Hmm. Hmm. I don't know if you knew already. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you know. But if you do know, tell me what the next topic is. Either put it in the comments, put it in a DM, however you want to do it. But let me know if you know what the next topic is, because I would love to know myself. All right. Now, because we're back, because we're streaming, because we've changed some things, right? What do you guys want to talk about today? What is on your mind? All right. Jump in the chat. Chat is now open. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. Like I said, it is Friday. It is middle of the day. And the chat is open. Do I have stuff to work on? I do. Should I be working on it right now? I should. Will I work on it right now? I will. Let's go. Because it still is a work day. It's Friday, right? A lot of people get off at 3 o'clock. I get off when I feel like it. And a lot of times it's just based on the amount of work I have to do, right? Do I have a deadline that's right now? Do I have a deadline that I might miss if I don't work today? Is there something that keeps me from not from working? Is there anything that keeps me from working today? Right? Meaning, do I have other responsibilities, household, spouse, children, extended family? Is there anything that keeps me from working today? Right? Because if there's nothing that I have to do for any of those, then chances are I'll probably be working, right? I'll probably be working on something because I don't really stop. If I'm not doing something with the fam, I'm working. I try to make sure that I put my family first because nothing is more important than your family, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Having money is important, right? but it's not the end all be all. It's not the end all be all. Because in the end, nobody is on their deathbed like, oh, I just wish I had more money. You know what I'm saying? I've never heard anybody dying say that they just wish they had more money. Unless they could have survived based on something they could have purchased. Maybe, maybe. But for the most part, no. Because at the end, people say, I wish I had more time to spend with my kids. I wish I had more time to spend with my wife. I wish I had more time to spend with my family. I wish I had more time to you know smell the roses, right? Like, because the chasing of money is not the thing that anybody wants to do. It may be something that they're required to do. They may need to do it just for survival reasons, right? But that's not what they want to do. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, some people, I think, they do get joy out of the chase, right? Of trying to obtain money. But how much is too much? Or a better question, how much is enough? Right? Because there comes a point where a lot of people are like, well, I don't know what that point is, Rich. I don't know what you're tripping on. That point is so far away. Well, it's going to continue to be far away because that's how you feel. But the point is that there is a point that it can be enough, right? It's almost the same thing as, trying to do something and obtain perfection. Well, there's a point that you get to that's good enough that you can put it out. So there's a point that you can get to monetarily that is enough for your lifestyle, enough for the way that you live, enough the way for everything that you want to do. That is enough. I believe that. I believe that. I truly do. Because when you get to a point that you have the house you want, you have the cars you want, your family is provided for, right? You've set up enough in a legacy type of thing that can continue to create more revenue for your legacy. Is that enough? Right? Now, it's one thing to say, is that enough for you? It's another thing if you're saying, I'm going to keep doing this because I want to help others, right? I think that's the switch, right? Because there comes a point where it's enough for you and your family. But now the money that I'm creating is not for me. It's for me to help others. It's for me to give. It's for me to invest in others' dreams, visions, goals, aspirations, right? And so if that is what you're doing it for, then that's another question. That's another type of, talk. But if it's strictly, I'm getting this money for me and I'm gonna put it in my bank and I'm just gonna hoard it and sit on it, that is another thing. That there is a point that there's enough. But if it's for the benefit of others, I'm trying to grow a community that is all profitable and people will need investment so that way they can, be able to start their thing and come up, right? Because one, no man is an island unto himself. And that's a fact. Everybody has a community of some sort. And if you do have a community of some sort, which you do, everybody in your community should be on the level that you are, right? So if you obtain, let's say, let's for illustration purposes, let's just say, no, not I'm speaking, you're gonna get to $1 million. Okay. If you don't already have it, you're gonna get there. And because you're gonna get there, not just you need to get there, you and your friends, because you don't really have money if you're the only one with it. You don't. And if you really think about that thought process, it's like if you have it, but nobody else does, now you're spending all of your money to take care of everybody else. You're spending all of your money to take care of everybody else. And you will. Why? Because they're your people. That's your community. And it'll go so fast. So that's why you're never creating revenue just for yourself. You're creating revenue for you and your community. And so The better bet is while you're building yourself, you're building your income, you're raising your income bar, you should be helping those that are around you that may be a little bit more under you to raise them up to reach their income bar, right? If everybody around you can then become millionaires, now you have money. Now you're truly a millionaire, right? Because you're not spending it to make sure everybody else is good, right? Now y'all are doing things on a bigger scale. Why? Because everybody around you has it. Everybody that's down with you has it. If everybody around you doesn't have it, and only you do, there's still a lot more work to be done. There's still a lot more work to be done. And you need to figure out how you can help them to get their money up. And I'm not saying you close off the door and you're like, you know what, once you get your money up, then you can come back around or something like that. No, it's like they have an idea. What do you think it would take to do that idea? I can give you a bunch of understandings, new growth techniques, new things that you can, put into place, or I can tell you where an opportunity is. If you don't already have an opportunity to get to it, I can, get you some connections, right? Based on my build up, I can get you some connections that I have now of those people who can help you get your vision up. So, with that being said, that's how you have to build a community. I feel that everybody should be building a community, okay? For that purpose alone. There's a lot more reasons, but for this purpose that we're talking about today, if you build this community while you're growing, right? You start growing and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm not even too far ahead of my people. My people are still kind of near me right now, right? Okay, let's say everybody that you know used to work a part-time job with you, right? Those are the people that you hang with. They're on your level. All of them are making roughly the same amount, right? Somewhere, let's say, illustration purposes only, between 25, 30,000 a year. Okay. Let's say you get a job and now you're making 50. Okay. You got a salary position now. You're making about $50,000, right? And you started working there, boom, boom, boom. You're getting a little bit more money. Okay. Wouldn't it behoove you to now get them those type of jobs? Tell them what you did to be able to up your income, right? That don't mean necessarily put them on it where you're at, but give them the thought process. Give them some of the changes that you made so that way they can choose to make those changes too, to then raise their income, right? So as you go up, you learn something that they don't know yet, and now they grow because you communicated that back to them. Now they're with you again. But in the same time that they come up, you go up again. Because as you were teaching them, you're also learning more, right? And so now you're growing even more. You reach back, you let them know, now they come up, right? What may even happen, because I've seen this happen, is where you go up a little bit, they start to come up, you go up a little bit more, they start to come up now, and because now they understand what you understand, they end up leapfrogging, and now they're ahead of you, right? And so now once they get ahead of you, the change switches. Now they're supposed to take that information that they've learned and now pour back into you, because that would be a community. But everybody that's a part of your community needs to understand that that's how it works, right? If I know where there's water, right? If we're in a town, the town doesn't have water, the water's dirty, whatever you want to call it, polluted, right? The water is polluted. And I go off and I find water, clean, fresh drinking water. Once I get there, right, then it's my job to do one of two things. Either one, come back and bring some water that I can give to others, or it's my job to tell them where the water is. Bro, listen, I know where there's clean drinking water, right? You go down, go 2 trees down, cross the mountain, over top of the little hill. you see a little rabbit in a tree, right? And then right on the other side of that, you'll see a river. The river, clean water, you can drink it, it's fresh. I've already checked it. I know that it's good to go. Boom. Now, if they choose to take that step, then great. But you have to let them know that now that I know where the water is, and I may have brought you back some, I'm not going to keep going and get more water and bringing it back to you, right? Because now that I told you where it is, I told you how to get to it. I've given you the steps to get there. It's on them now to be accountable for themselves and go to get that water, right? Now, if they come back to you and say, what was those steps again? Don't be like, man, I already told you. I ain't going to tell you again. No, tell them again. They might have forgotten a step. When you told them, they probably didn't have a pen or a pad. They didn't get a chance to write it down, right? So they don't know all the details. They thought they had it, but when they started off on the course, they couldn't find it. So they came back and they're like, yo, I didn't, I must have missed something. I didn't see no water. You see what I'm saying? So to me, the logical thing is to keep telling them over and over again if you need to, right? Or create a YouTube video that way they can play it when they want to of where to get to the water. But also, if you do something like that, now, they you can actually make it accessible for your community, right? Somewhere stored up. That way, when somebody asks, I don't have to say it again. I already have the content. I can provide it for you. And now you know how to get there, right? Without me having to continue to repeat myself. So, what do you see after all of this conversation we're having right now? What do you see that is happening with the Real Rich Bees channel, with the Real Rich Bees Discord, with the Real Rich Bees Twitch, with the Real Rich Bees YouTube, with the Real Rich Bees TikTok? What do you see happening? What you should see is exactly what I just laid out. That's what you should see. Somebody who has found where there was water, found the directions to get to the water, and even before I've drank up all the water or I have, my bucket totally full of water, right? I may have started filling up 2 buckets, right? But they're not full yet. I'm trying to, scoop water in there. I already have mapped out how to get to at least where I am. Why? Because if I already have the map, I can give the map to whoever in my community I want to, right? It doesn't hurt me. If anything, it benefits me because it helps my community become strong, right? People hear the things I said, people understand the directions, and if they have questions, they can come back and ask, and then I can modify those directions specifically for them so that way they can get to where the water is, right? It I think sometimes people feel like it's a hard thing, or people feel like, well, that can't be true because that's too easy, right? Like if I came and told y'all, you know what, we ain't had no water in 20 days, right? No drinkable water. We keep having to take the dirty water, boil it, and you know what I mean, and try to repurpose the water that we currently have. But yet, if I go off looking for water, and all I do is go over one hill, and the water is right there, but we've never ever went over that hill to find that water. We've never went over that hill. So we don't even know the water's right there. Less than a 5-minute walk, water's right there. We don't even know, right? And so if I end up finding out that it's right there, then what do I look like not telling? What do I look like not even saying anything, right? But I just keep sneaking off getting water, you know what I'm saying? I keep sneaking off like, yo, I'm good. Everybody else can be over here complaining and crying and they ain't got no water and they thirsty, but I'm good, so I ain't worried about it. And everybody's arguing, where we gonna get find water? We gonna find water, and I'm just sitting in the back. I don't know, bro. I don't know where y'all gonna find water at. And it's right over the hill. Like, what kind of person does that make me? You know what I'm saying? And so in this example, like now that I know where the water is, right? And I've started to fill my buckets with this water, I gotta let you know. I gotta tell you. Because if I don't tell you, that's gonna end up being on me. Right? And I don't want that responsibility. I don't want the responsibility that it's on me. You know what I'm saying? Not for your well-being. I'd rather tell you. Because then it's on you whether you choose to do it or not. I become a messenger, right? Not an enabler. Does that make sense? Like I'm not an enabler now because I'm not enabling you to continue to complain, to continue to bicker and argue, to continue to be less than, right? Be less than what you could because the water's right over the hill, right? And I've given you the directions on how to get there. And so now it's on you to make that decision to go walk that out. That's a form of mentorship slash coaching slash growth or slash empowerment, right? Because I'm empowering you to be better than you were before, to have more than you've ever had before, to dream bigger than you've ever dreamed before. That's my job. That's what I do, right? Like I do that naturally. And so this is the reason why I feel so passionately about coming on here every day and being able to talk with you guys. It's strictly for that reason, right? Strictly for that reason. Because if I don't do this, right? If I don't come back and tell you guys, if I don't find where the water is and come back and tell you guys, then I feel like I'm not building my community. I'm not building up a community that's going to be able to sustain themselves. And we miss it somewhere when it comes to building our young men, when we talk about building family, when we talk about building community, right? These are skills that aren't necessarily passed down anymore. The skills used to be, right? They used to be a while back. We used to sit with the elders and, hear these stories about what it was to be a man, about what it is to be a family, what it is to be, a leader, what it is to grow, what it is to seek personal or self-improvement. Like all of these things used to be communicated back in the day, right? This day, it doesn't seem as genuine. The things that are being communicated don't seem as genuine. And then also, we don't even know if it's true. The things that people are coming back and saying, it doesn't even sound true. If you put it up, if you put a litmus test to it, it doesn't hold up. It comes back as not true. It comes back as false, right? It comes back as uninformed. And that's not how I want. That's not how this stream is going to go. That's not how my channel is going to go. That's not how it's going to go. Everything that I'm talking about, and that's the reason why when I'm streaming, I'll go and pull up the dictionary, right? Still work the topic, right? The topic is the topic. And if I end up having a first position on a topic before I go to the definition, right? Let's say I state a position. We look up the definition. If the definition does not convey what my thought process was, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be like, oh shoot, I got that word don't even mean that. Really? Right? You remember the day when I said I know there's a word for it. I know there's a word, for forced support, right? What's the word for that? Remember we had a whole stream on it. I not a whole stream, but I did talk about it in one big section, and I actually put it up for as a short, which actually getting a lot of views. But the point that I'm getting at is that in that stream, I didn't know what that word was. In that moment, I didn't know what the word was for that. And the word that I thought it would have been wasn't even the word that came up when we searched for it. So what I found out was for support is coercion. And when I was like, coercion, I was so taken aback that I just bust out laughing. Wow, really? That's what that means. It's not that I never knew what the word coercion meant. I knew it in context, right? I knew it in context of a situation. Normally, when you talk about court cases or, police and they're trying to force somebody to say a certain thing or whatever, we call that coercion. But coercion is like, well, you're supporting their idea. You know what I'm saying? You're forcing them to support the idea that you want them to support. For support, coercion. Boom. Right? So that's what I'm saying. As I'm bringing back information, if we look up the words that we're using, they should all match up. The thought process that I'm proposing, that we better, that we correct, that we enhance, should line up, right? It should connect like a link, like a cog, in a gear, right? Boop. That's what this cog comes in touch with this cog. They lock, they link together, and now you got to spin, right? Now it can rotate with torque, right? To add power, right? And so as we do that, that's what these words are, right? One word is a little notch on it, right? You got another word, you got another idea, you got another, all of these things linked together and give you more torque, give you more rotation, give you more force, give you more power for you to get to the goal. And that goal is up to you, right? That goal is up to you. I can't tell you what your goal is. I don't know what your dream is. All I know is what mine is, right? But the goal and dream and the aspiration doesn't matter when it comes to the things that I'm communicating. Doesn't matter what the dream is. What it matters is how you enact things that make you better. Because if you become better, you can reach your goal because you're adding value to everything that you touch. The more you add value to yourself, the more you add value to those things that you're involved in, right? So keep adding value to yourself and you'll keep situation. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you following. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. We just talking here. We just talking here. Feel like I should just write a book. I know that's right. And I have. I have. I have. If you head over to richbz.com/links, you can actually get the book. There's a book called Life is a Production. That's the book that I wrote. I wrote that a couple of years back. And it's not out anywhere else. It's something that I wrote. I didn't have fully published yet, but I'm going to. But for now, I'm just selling it myself. You know, because it has some great concepts in it. I've had a lot of people read it and they come back with like, yo, that's really short read, but it's wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Is the book called Speaking at You for You? No, it's not. It's called Life is a Production. But so the thing is that, you know, the concept is to bring back anything that you learn on your role for growing, right? So as as I'm growing, that's all I want to do. I want to be able to bring back these understandings so that way I'm not the only person that's in my community, right? That has an understanding of how to get to a certain level in their life, right? How to operate better, meaning I'm calm, I'm able to control my emotions, I'm able to lead my family, right? I'm able to add value to my friendships, right? That's what makes a better community. And if you go off, you have a community that you have, and now you go off, you start making all the money, or you start, getting into all these bigger circles and stuff like that. But yet you're not bringing back tools. You're not bringing back understandings. You're not bringing back information to your community for them to better themselves. Then did you really create a community? You know what I'm saying? At that point, you didn't create a community. What you did was use them as a springing board for you to go off and do your thing, right? What's one thing you wish you could tell your great, 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 great granddad? One thing that I can tell my great, 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 great granddad? I'll be better later. I'll achieve more than you would ever have dreamed of later. So you keep going, get through it, because it's going to be worth it for generations to come. That's probably the biggest thing that I would say. You are. I mean, he doesn't even know who you are. Yeah, he doesn't. But that's what I would tell him. I would tell him, keep going, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and get through whatever it is you have to go through. And it doesn't matter what that is. Keep going through it, because you're making waves for us to be better and have a better experience in life later. If you could be one Pokemon for a week, I don't know. I don't know anything about Pokemon, bro. Like, not a thing. I don't know a thing. I don't even know none of the characters' names. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm older than Pokemon. Like Pokemon was not out when I was a kid. Um, so yeah, that's why I said that it's the same concept when it comes to the understandings, as if you are the only person in your circle that makes money and everybody else in your circle is broke. Really and truly, you'll have no money if everybody else in your circle is broke. Why won't you have any money? Because you'll be trying to support your friends. They'll keep asking you for things. They'll keep wanting you to buy them things. When you go out to eat, now you're paying for them to eat too, right? So it's all on you. And once it becomes to that, you're not really a millionaire. You're not really making money because you're paying for them. So you might as well build them up, teach them, grow them to be better, because if they can achieve more now, both everybody what this is what I say normally. I say this a lot. A rising tide raises all boats, right? So we have to raise the tide of everybody who's in your community, because then everybody will go up, right? Learn it, take it back to your community and teach them. Exactly. Exactly. Get off. If it ain't a float, get off the boat. What you can't. I mean, listen. People are in your life for a reason, for a season, or for a lifetime, right? Either a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And not everybody is in your life for a lifetime. Some people are only in your life for a season. Some people are only in your life for a reason. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to realize that, and then that doesn't mean you give them any less, right? When I say give them any less, I'm talking about give them any less of you or the understanding that you know. You know what I'm saying? And if you make sure that you're being the best version of yourself, it doesn't matter how long they're supposed to be in your life. You should still be able to impact their life, right? To an extent that even if they do leave, even if they aren't there anymore, they'll always reference you. They'll always be like, man, I remember when, I used to hang with Rich B's, you know what I'm saying? Like he was awesome. I stayed motivated. He gave me all these tools. I would not even be where I'm at if I had never met him. Right? That's the kind of impression, right, that we want to leave on those people around us, no matter whether they're in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. right? So as I'm communicating this to you guys, it's the same thing. I created this channel to do that, right? To leave residue on those who watch, on those who want to get into the chat, on those who want to ask questions, on those who are willing and ready to grow, right? Because that's all I'm on. I'm on the path too. I haven't achieved and I'm like, oh, I'm on the mountain. Let me just come down and tell you everything and show you how good I am. No, no, not at all. Right? I'm on the path. As I get to something that I find out works, as I get to another understanding, then I immediately turn back around and say, hey, look, I just figured this out. This works. I've seen it in action. It works. Right? Same thing I was talking about when I had the water illustration. Water is right there. It's over the hill. I just went and got some. Look, water. That's what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't know, if it's something that I've never encountered, I don't have an answer for your question or whatever, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be like, well, nah, bro, I don't know anything about that thing. Right? I just did it with the Pokemon. You just asked me about a Pokemon. I'm like, I don't know anything about Pokemon, right? I didn't fake it and say, oh yeah, some character name, and act like I did. Oh yeah, bro, I really know that. No, I used to do that back in the day. No, I didn't. I don't know anything about it. I'm just going to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what people don't have nowadays. They don't have anybody who's honest. You know what I'm saying? Pretend you know one, make up one, a random name of a Pokemon. I don't know because I don't know the basis of the cartoon. What's the basis of it? What's the point? Matter of fact, tell me the point of Pokemon. Matter of fact, let's look it up. You know what it is? What? Bro, that's not a Pokemon. That's not a Pokemon. Let's find out. Let's look it up. And this is what you'll find out on my stream a lot. We'll hit the dictionary. We'll hit the dictionary or we'll hit Google and find out the answer. Right? Monsters and small balls that fight each other to be present and big. What? Is that the real point? Is that really what it's about? Okay, we're going to YouTube because now we gonna figure this out. Let's go to the desktop. Hold on. Let me type in. Um, give me yeah, Pokemon logo. Gi- Give me a good search topic to understand what Pokemon is. Let me think. What would what kind of video would I be looking for? What is Pokemon? What is Pokemon? Okay, let's see. Hold on, and I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. Okay, here we go. We got a video. Yeah. Well, I'm not just looking for that one. I want to know what Pokemon is, period, right? Like, so hopefully it just gives us an overview of what Pokemon is. Okay. So I found a video. Here you go. We're gonna watch it. Let's go to the desktop. Let's make sure that the desktop actually is gonna show up. Hopefully it will. Let's see, desktop. Boom. All right. Can we see this? Is it moving? Yep. Okay. So we have it right here. What is Pokemon? Now this is 9 years ago. I don't know whether that's still gonna hold weight. Let's see. What's this? What is Pokemon? That's 14 years ago. I guess it's still gonna give you what Pokemon is. So let's just watch this one, right? Let me turn up my let me get my headphones. Let me get my headphones. We gonna see what this is. All right. We gonna see what this is. Hopefully it's gonna be something worthwhile. Goose Foundation. Let's see. All right, can you hear that? Hopefully you can hear the audio. Let's see. What? Team bigger balls. Yeah, more space, right. Oh, Pikachu. I've heard that name before. So Ash Ketchum. Yeah, Ash Ketchum. Ah. What? The card game doesn't require you to touch any balls, though. Hey, bro, that's wild. What? This is Are you planning to pick up some? You know, no, no, I'm not. What? Hey, bro. Hey, bro. That's crazy. Hey, that's crazy work. That's crazy work that thing is talking about. uh, these animals, right? These animals, are they animals, right? They are animals, but they live in balls. Now, you said that they're magical animals. Is that what you said? They're magical, or are they just animals? You know what I'm saying? I I guess I don't get that. But they grow from little ones, little Pokemon, into big Pokemon. And I'm guessing the bigger the Pokemon, the bigger the ball. Oh, they're creatures. Okay, okay. That's a better word. They're creatures. Okay. But they're creatures with magical powers, right? And does everybody have their own, like, what you call it? Powers, or does everybody have their own Pokemon, or, like, I don't get it, to be honest. Um I've got to Hey, bro. Hey, that's so stupid. No, I'm not in. Now, understand, I'm not calling you stupid because that's not how I am. That's not what I do on my channel, right? I'm just saying that concept is stupid, right? Uh, Mr. Mr. Mime. Okay, let's see. Hold up. Let me get what you said. Mr. Mime in Pokemon. Okay, let's see. On YouTube? No, you said Google. You said Google it. Okay. Let's Google it. Hey, if it takes me to something crazy, bro, I'm What is the French puppet dude? Okay, so let's see. Let's see. We definitely don't want nothing crazy. I'm not trying to show nothing crazy, so I'm gonna pull it up first before I. Okay, here we go. What? And then it pops up with a. Okay, hold on. Let me put up the desktop. Here we go. So, and then it has this what is this? I don't even a Pokemon ball in this thing right here. Okay, so Mr. Mom, known in Japan as Bareed, is a Pokemon species in Nintendo. Oh, Pokemon was a Nintendo game and Game Freak's Pokemon franchise. Mr. Mr. Mime first appeared in the video games Pokemon Red and Blue and subsequent sequels later appeared in various merchandise spin-off titles. Okay, so you said, what is this gonna do on my screen, bro? Let's see. So that's Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime. So Mr. Mime's Mr. Remaining 150 Pokemon by searching their name. Start with the hint. Pokemon card. Interesting, bro. All built into Google. No, Mr. Mom is in your ball, the red and white ball. Mr. Mom is in. So okay. If I understand this correctly, that means each person has a their own ball. That ball can hold as many as Pokemon you have caught. Is that right? Like the ball holds as many Pokemon as you catch. It's one-to-one relationship between Pokemon. So it's one ball per Pokemon. So each Pokemon is in its own ball. They don't share. They don't share them. Okay. All right. I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying? You learn something new every day. Bro, that's out of control. That's what that is. That's out of control. But yeah, you learn something new every day, bro. I mean, listen, I never knew, never even had a desire to know. I know people went crazy for it back when the phone version came out. I remember that. Let's take that back to the community. I will actually. I will. And you know what? What I may end up doing is at least learning more on the topic because I already have come up with some connections on how, like you said, it's one to one, right? And how this creature can end up living in this little ball. You know what I'm saying? Walk on in and goes, funny dude in white paint to my yeah. Walk right into the community and say that. Yep. Yep. Hey, and they need to get one too. That's what I'm gonna say. Hey, and you need to get one too. Yeah, that's gonna go over very well. You know what I'm saying? But but yeah. So hey, see, I mean, but you know what? Here's what I'm gonna say, Mr. Formal Goose Foundation. Here's the thing. Now you have been added. You followed, right, the stream. Now you've been added to the community, right? And so you have just empowered me by teaching me something that I've never known. I mean, I've heard of Pokemon. I knew that Pokemon exists. I knew it was something hype that everybody who used to go around scanning their phone in different places trying to catch Pokemon. But I didn't know the concept, and I wasn't really interested in learning it because it was something that young people were doing. And at the time, all I was thinking about was how I'm going to get this money. You know what I'm saying? So you have come into the community today and actually taught me something, right? Yeah. I mean, so I don't know how much you heard of what I said earlier, but that's literally, what I started off doing. Basically teaching about how to go back to a community, and you shouldn't just leave your community uh, uh, once you start to get some success, right? Because I see that happen all too often. I see it happen all too often that people will get ahead and then leave their community. Meaning, and they're doing that because they feel like their community is gonna keep latching on to them and pulling all their money. But the problem is you're not empowering them and giving them the understandings so they can be better, right? So they can reach their dream. You're just letting them tag along with you, but not really empowering them so they can get their own. That is the concept of today's whole talk. You know what I'm saying? And I had another subject that I was going to talk about today, but I decided not to because this part came to me, which is the part about, well, none of this matters if you're talking about your identity, if you're talking about planning, growth, being the best version of yourself, anything like that. None of that matters if you're not taking it back to your community to help them to be better versions of their self. I can't talk to everybody, right? I'm talking to you. So it's on you to capture this content and then go and tell the next man, right? That's why every time I end the stream with make sure that you. Oh, I done forgot my own saying, and I just said it a little while ago. Tell someone. No, what I say? What I say? Rich bees, real rich bees. Tell a friend to follow your man, Rich Bees, the real Rich Bees, right? That's my saying that I say toward the end of my stream, right? Tell a friend to tell a friend. Because as I'm telling you, you have now become my friend. So I'm asking a friend to tell a friend to come follow Rich Bees, and that way we can all grow together, right? That's the whole point of my stream, right? So I do appreciate you joining me today, though, for real, and teaching me something that I never knew about. Which Pokemon is my spirit Pokemon? Which one? Which one? I really would like to know the answer to that question since I don't know anything about them. That way, when I figure out about it, Snorax. That if you're sleepy, it be going to sleep all the time. What is that one? Let's look it up. We're gonna go back to the desktop. Big fat dude. All right, here we go. Let's put him up. Let's go back to the desktop. All right, known in Japan as Hibagon. Is a Pokemon species in the Big John. Snorlax is a normal type sleeping Pokemon known for its massive sound and constant appetite, waking only to eat 900 pounds of food daily. 900 pounds of food daily? Introduced in Generation 1, this Generation 1 Pokemon coming out in Japan evolves from like a high friendship. It is powerful, durable, tank with its abilities like thick, fat, or gluttony. Wow, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, might as well. Might as well since I'm here. You know what I'm saying? All right, I mean that's dope though. I think that whole thing is actually pretty dope. I'll leave that page up. I'll leave that page up. Um, yeah, but hey man, if you go over to the Discord, right? Remember the website I put up, right? richbz.com/links. You can get an invite to the Discord. If you get into the Discord, you know, throw a couple of them names in there so I know what to look for. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I still got work to do that I gotta finish before 5 o'clock. So I'm gonna call this stream successful because you taught me something. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people come on and they do get information from, right? From the information that I'm giving, but not many come on and actually are able to hear what I'm saying and then be able to also give back. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that today. If nobody told you, let me tell you, remember, I actually care that you get better and become better so you can be the best version of yourself each and every day. I don't know what your current stance is. I don't know what you do. I don't know, what your life looks like. But I do know that all of us can become better than we were yesterday. I know we can. So again, like I said before, tell a friend to tell a friend, follow your man, Rich Bees, the real Rich Bees. And I'm going to see you on the next one. I appreciate you for joining and becoming a follower. Hopefully you can join me on the next one. I may be back live today. If I do, it'll probably be like 5 or 6 o'clock if I come back live today. But it all depends on family because for me, family means a lot. So I want to make sure that I'm always there and spending time with them. And when I'm back here in my studio, I'll come on live. Sometimes I'm working on videos. Sometimes I'm working on websites or applications that I build, or I might be making a graphic for a client or something like that since I own an audiovisual production company. So that's what I do. I do that regularly. Been doing that for years now, actually decades now, multiple decades. So know that you'll see, various things that I do. All right. I appreciate you, Former Goose Foundation. I really do, because, bro, I just learned something new, and I think I'm going to have to take a deep dive on what this really is now that I have seen part of it, right? You've piqued my interest just to understand. And to me, that means a lot. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again on the next one. Make sure that you become better than you were the next day. This is Rich B signing off. Rich B's out.